Okay, thank you everybody for watching this with my dear friend Sarah Monzani, who I've known for a good few years now. And Sarah and I, as I said, go back a good few years. I'm not quite sure how we met. Can you remember how we met? I think we just met in a sort of social circle, Sarah. And Sarah has got amazing credentials. She is an award-winning makeup artist. And what is your official title, Sarah?
Makeup and hair designer.
Makeup and hair designer. And you have won a BAFTA and an Oscar?
Yes.
So
not for a film that would be appropriate for this conversation, but it was for Neanderthal Man.
Really? That's amazing.
Yes.
That's amazing though. And so you've had all these accolades. And how long have you been in the industry, Sarah?
I started in 1970 training to be a makeup artist. Prior to that, I was a hairdresser from 1964.
Right, so long. And just out of interest, just in a few seconds, how did you get into the industry? Was it easy to get into? Was it hard to get into the industry?
Well, when I left school and I kept saying to my father I wanted to be a makeup artist, you can imagine what his impression was. You need a job, not some pie in the sky idea. Anyway, so he said, he looked into it, and to actually get a job, he was very much, you needed to work and earn a living so you could leave home. Yeah. That was that.
Yeah.
So he suggested that I either went to art school, which I didn't like the idea of, or I started training as a hairdresser, which I thought was a brilliant idea, because if I didn't make it to be a makeup artist, at least I would be a hairdresser.
Yes, you'd have that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and of course, when I came up through the ranks, now they want everyone to learn hair.
Yes. So yeah. So you got it. You've got everything.
Yeah.
So you've worked on some big movies.
Yeah.
Evita. Well, tell me the movies you've worked on. Just because you can't reel them all off, but you've worked.
I'm going to say it as I remember it: Bugsy Malone, Midnight Express, Alien,
The Mummy,
Quest for Fire, which I got the Oscar for. And then things like Interview with the Vampire, Evita. Oh gosh, I've forgotten them now.
So
Two Mission Impossibles.
Mission, yeah. So you've done a hell of a lot with some, is in your industry as well, working with the celebrity world, which you do. You're working with but you're working with the numero uno in the building, aren't you? You're working with the big guns, as it were.
With the money.
You're working now, and that's quite a lot of pressure. And so, I'm just interested, I'm sure people that are watching this will be interested in, I'm going to ask you about the people you've worked on, if you can say, but are the concerns of the celebrities, obviously you're getting them camera ready, but are the concerns that they have similar to us mere mortals? Is it the same sort of thing? Are they worried about the same sort of stuff?
Yes. I mean, I think for me personally, I like people to have a good regime with their skin, because it's like anything. If the base coat is right, the top coat is going to look much better. Yeah. So with most people, I will kind of gently ask them what they do, and then from there, see where they come from. I mean, they might say, I always use whatever it is. And you say, have you thought about using, do you want to try it? It's that,
There's a trust relationship that's built up, I'm guessing, over that time. And I guess that's why.
Same with hair products, same with hair. People are so used to using the same thing all the time. But nowadays, you've got so many products, and I can understand why it's baffling for everybody.
Yeah, and I think what people don't realise necessarily is that we seem to come from this position where we think the celebrity world, I'll use that phrase, I don't like it, but the people would have know everything and have access to all the best and do all the right things. But over the years, I've realized that actually that isn't always the case. And some of the things that people that you would experience in the public eye, very high-end people, they often don't always use the best things. And sometimes the advice that they've been given isn't always the best. But what are the areas on the face that the celebrity, you know, when they're getting camera ready? Is it the jawline? Is it the under eye hollows? What are the main areas of concern for your celebrities that you've treated or worked with on these films?
Definitely under eye. Definitely under eye. Concealer is one of the big things, and also to find concealers individually on people that don't clog, don't crease. So that's an area that, I mean, really, I would end up not powdering, so that you can literally smooth over it as you need to.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite under eye concealer? Do you have a favorite one, or do you use I mean, obviously makeup.
I use a lot of different ones. One of my favorites is a Canebo one, which is called Sensi. But I also know that recently the brand has changed the product. So I'm actually going to look for something else which is similar.
Right.
That's always been a really nice product. But then Terry do one that's very similar. I know Touche Eclair, a lot of people like that, but I always found that really thin.
Yeah, it doesn't give me enough coverage. I mean, I'm no celebrity.
No coverage at all.
Enough coverage at all. It's good for that thing, but it doesn't do enough.
No,
so under hollows are a big thing. What about jawlines or noses? Because of course that's the sort of thing we get asked about a lot.
Yeah, I think jawlines, this whole jawline area, it's when the skin gets soft. Or, I mean, I try and encourage people to do exercises as well for themselves on their face, because it does help. And I know these days there are a lot of those, we've had a lot of that rolling.
Rolling,
crystals.
Yeah, but I agree. And I think the jawline as well. I don't know what you think, because you've worked with male and female celebrities.
Yeah.
Celebrities, but I'm guessing it's an equal concern for both male and female.
Of course, yes, very much so. And necks.
Yeah, because they do show the signs of aging very, very quickly, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
Can have somebody who's looking really good, but you can still see that telltale sign, and that's the issue, isn't it?
Well, I mean, when we're filming, I'll be standing beside the camera, and any angle that doesn't look right, I will say to the actress, pull your shoulder down, pull your neck this way for that shot.
Yeah. Because
it's so easy to correct it if you see it.
Yeah, no. Do you have, out of interest, because again, I said, as you know, is that very personal relationship you build up with over time with the people that you work with? And I know from speaking to you, and you're very discreet and you never say anything personal, but you're very professional. But you obviously get to know people very, very well in your job. Do they ask you for advice on say, going one step further and having cosmetic procedures? Do you find that you become somebody that they confide in and ask?
Absolutely. And in fact, what's interesting is I have a team of people, and my makeup artists that work with me will always say to an actress, let's call Sarah over. She'll have a chat with you about that.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
I obviously, I would recommend people to come to see you so that they're not, they get the right advice.
Yeah,
they get the right advice.
Yeah, and that's incredible. Certainly from my perspective, not necessarily you've worked with Sarah at all, but people that I've worked, seen in the public eye. Sometimes you actually do see work as a practitioner that has not been done very well, or something that we do have to correct. So it can be quite a big responsibility. It's a big responsibility, frankly, treating anybody, but to actually people are going to be filmed and people are going on set and they've got to look really good, because as you know, the camera picks up things that are wrong much easier than just day-to-day life. I think people are saying this even now with Zoom and all these conference calls that everybody's having, and everyone's living on, you know, screens now. And actually, that's what's making people more aware of the way they look. So I think that's really, really hard. But so just to go back, so you've worked with some big names, and you've worked with all kinds of interesting people over your time. And can I just ask you, I'm guessing, not specifically, but just from your perspective, do you see generally a change in what your celebrity, I'm not going to call them patients, they're not clients, or the people, what they want to achieve with their looks? Do you think the trends do you see a change in the trending with the way perhaps they might have wanted to look years ago with the way they look now? Meaning, do you see more natural looking people, or is it generally you do work with lots of natural looking people that actually just look delicious? Full stop.
I think this is quite an interesting time we're going through right now, because nobody has been able to see anybody about anything, hair, makeup, skin, facials, nothing for this, well, where I am, for 10 weeks. I think you're 9 weeks at the moment.
Yeah.
But because of that, it'd be interesting to see how people are reacting to themselves and caring for themselves. But I think that a lot of the actresses I know, I have come, mostly actresses want to look good, not different.
No, which is great, because actually all the people you've worked with, and I know, you know, I've seen obviously the movies, they look amazing, and that, it's about looking just great, looking good. And of course, an actress has to emote, don't they? They have to move the face, they have to be able to move, so they can't look too contrived or too frozen or too anything, because part of what we do is emote and look natural. I
do know that in Hollywood they had a big problem about 3-4 years ago, where there was not an actress who hadn't had a lot of work done and suddenly looked completely different. And so there was a whole generation where you wouldn't be able to find an actress who could play those important parts of someone who's a little older.
Yes, I know.
What are you going to do? Age a face that's been stretched?
I know. Now that is really, really hard, isn't it? Now,
crazy.
I mean, I'm a great believer, as you know, because it's what I do all day, every day. I don't necessarily think cosmetic treatments are for everybody. I agree with that. I have the greatest respect for people who think, actually, no, it's not for me. Don't want it done. Don't like it. That's all fine. But I do think for people that do want to do something, the beauty about non-surgical work now is that it's far more effective, far more, you know, if I compare what we do nowadays to what we did 10 years ago, we can get much, but by a long way, we can get much more impressive results. Very natural, but much more impressive results, nearer to that of a surgical procedure. I'm not suggesting you get the same results, but you know, you're definitely getting near that. And what a lot of people are looking for, and I'm sure, again, is more a natural surgical result, but with a non-surgical solution. So a lot of people want no downtime, and that's what the celebrities want. No downtime, very natural result, just to give a little bit more definition and lift. And I know one of your favorites, because I've got to just draw you on this, is all therapy, isn't it, Sarah?
I think it's brilliant. I think it's extraordinary, because I remember, it's not my favorite to have done, but when you've had it done, it is extraordinary, because you definitely feel it go on working. Yeah. And I know that for a fact.
Yeah, because I didn't quite take you kicking and screaming to the treatment, but it was sort of almost. And actually, yeah. but you actually really felt, and you're very honest. How about you, Sarah? You don't say things if you don't think there's a value or you don't think there's a benefit. You would say loud and clear. You're a very direct lady. But actually, I could see very, very, very clearly on you the effect that therapy had on you. And for you, you didn't want to look, you know, wildly different. You said, you know, you like the way you look, the way you are the age you are, as am I. But it's just you wanted something that gave you more support and a bit more definition.
I'm a little bit older than you, Tracy.
Well, that's fine, but we're all getting older, aren't we? And does it great. But I think that really had, how many oral therapy treatments have you had? You've had 2, haven't you?
2.
Yeah. And they really are good. And I think for you, it just gave that bit more definition, didn't it? Yeah.
Probably ready for another one.
I nearly said, what I'm going to do is have a look at your notes when I go back into clinic. Not because you don't look lovely, Sarah, but because actually it just made me think about it. Yes. But you really did, and it really gave you that nice, as you said, you can feel it tightening and you can feel it working because it's a longer term.
Yeah.
And the other thing that I eventually managed to convert you to was fillers, wasn't it? And you weren't terrifically, or you weren't that bothered about that initially, but you sort of...
No. I don't know what this is looking like now, this
Very good.
Bit.
Very good.
That's what you did. And to be honest, that's amazing, because I had 2 lines there from a child. I mean, I had them when I was like 6 years old. And as you get older, when you frown, you just had these 2. And I remember saying to you, if I did anything, I would do those. And I think you've only done it once, maybe twice.
Yeah, they last a long time, particularly because everybody's obsessed with other treatments on the brow, but actually filler on a brow, on those lines there, actually soften them. And, you know, you can top them up. And obviously... but the beauty of fillers there is it doesn't inhibit a natural frowning mechanism. You can still have a little bit of a frowning mechanism, which is natural, but you're just taking away that real sort of crater, that real depth. And then because I managed to convert you on that, you then ended up having a little bit of...
You crept round.
I crept without you noticing. But actually, again...
I just think I'll do this.
Yeah, it was just very natural.
But you were right. It's soft, it's gentle. And I think you said to me that all therapy and the other treatment together work together very well.
They do. They work synergistically. One is acting, you know, the fillers are acting like the scaffolding just to give, because you are a lean woman, you're lean in the face, as am I, you exercise, you know, you look after your diet, but you've naturally got that sort of leaner face. And obviously as we get older, we do.
That gets,
we get. And for you, it was important to give that little bit of deep support, a bit like the foundations of a house, just to give a little bit more support, as well as give that tightening effect with your therapy. So I think that combo actually worked very, very nicely with you and still kept you looking, as you said, very natural. You know, your expectation.
Nobody knew. They just kept saying, "You look. Why do you look so well?"
Yeah. And
I
think
said, "Well, it's just me."
Of course. Well, now we've got to come clean, but it's true. It is just it.
Yeah.
But I think so. Just to sort of wrap up this, I think your career has been a very interesting one, and I can see why people trust you. I can see why those very high-end people trust you, because you are authentic. You do, you know, say it as it is, and you're very honest. But have you got any top tips for anybody? I mean, with hair, I mean, my God, in this lockdown period, you know, my hair is just going from bad to worse. I haven't seen my natural hair colour, I was saying, for, I mean, years, probably about, 40.
Yeah, I know. I think we're all the same.
And we're so used to, you know, keeping our regrowth done and keeping everything. And I've got a bit of a Cruella de Vil going on here. And, you know...
Well, it might develop into something completely different.
I just want to get my regrowth done. So do you have anything that you use on regrowth, or you're a celebrity so well tended to, you never need to worry about touching up their regrowth?
We always use the, there are various different things on the market that you can use, whether it's the spray. It's harder to do from dark to blonde. It's easier to do the other way around.
Yeah, it is. It is hard to conceal that.
But I mean, for you, what I would suggest, you have to use something gold.
Yeah,
literally gold.
Yeah.
If you just painted like a little bit of gold.
Well, I tell you, I tried a bit of dry shampoo, but I just looked grayer. I just ended up.
Yeah, no, that's not what you need.
Grey thing, which wasn't.
Your hair's too thick for dry shampoo.
Yeah, it was just horrendous. So I think I'm just going to have to, I've already got my appointment booked in. And then the other, do you any top tips for eyebrows? Because as you know, as we get older, myself included, the lateral third of the eyebrow almost disappears. It goes. My eyebrows have really broken up over the years. I've literally lost, and I pencil them in. Have you got? I've never come across a really good. What's a really nice way of getting those eyebrows look softly? Do you use a pencil? Do you use eyeshadow that you brush on? What is your top tip for eyebrows in blondes? Well, not natural.
If you can find a pencil that really works. I know there are some, there is a MAC one, eyebrow one, I think it is, that's actually very good, and it is waterproof. If you can draw it properly yourself, but I cheated. I've had mine tattooed.
I've not got to that stage yet. I'm just a little bit nervous.
I tell you what, it's the best thing ever. Just the best. And you have to have it. If the practitioner says, I think this color's best, say, do it softer.
Yeah.
Have it less.
Less is more. And you
less
can always
is definitely more. But top tip. There are lots. I like powders.
Yeah.
I think when I'm applying it to an actress, I do it with a powder, eyebrow powder. There are lots of different ones now. And you could try anything from Benefit, which is just as good as some of the top end ones.
Yeah, I think powders are just softer, aren't they? And if you were stuck on a desert island and you only had one product to take with you to use on your face, or meaning, if what would be your, or if you like, your couple of hero products? If you had, you had a celebrity on a desert island with you, or yourself, and you were advising them that one product to take with them. I know it varies, but have you got a really big favourite?
I think it would have to be sunscreen.
Oh, good. I'm glad you said
because it's a desert island.
Yeah,
as you can see, I use a lot myself.
Yeah. Well, you go naturally very, very, very brown.
I do.
Whereas I spend a year, and I would wear sunscreen, of course, but I wouldn't go that colour. I just don't.
I know.
The sunscreen. But I mean, you know what I would take? I would take, it's funny because people often ask, with cosmetic treatment.
Lip balm.
It would always be filler. But lip balm, for me, it would probably be concealer. If I took
concealer.
Sunscreen's a given, but for me, because I had dark circles since I was about, a baby.
It's just, it's the way you were made.
Yeah, I use concealer. So just to wrap up now, because we're near the end of time, what's on the horizon for you now, Sarah? I mean, I
haven't got a clue. I haven't got a clue. Okay. I just don't know.
So, of course, all the movies as well have been, I'm guessing, are they suspending all the filming and the releases and everything of movies?
Completely. It's all complete lockdown. I think from our point of view, how are we going to make people up if we can't touch them?
Good point. Good point.
From your point of view, it's slightly different because you can wear gloves. I can wear gloves, but
Yeah, I mean, we, of course, now we're going back to work when the government allows. It won't be much longer now. But actually, you know, we're ready with full PPE. So we have, you know, certain protection masks, visors, gloves.
Not 100% sure that's going to work for us.
No, but of course, then patients feel safe. We've got social distance. In a way, it's easier for us because we're in a clinical environment anyway, and we're used to infection control. We've just got to just go that stage higher. So in effect, that makes it just an added challenge. But actually, we're used to being trained in infection control.
I know.
Whereas
everything like that for you.
Different for you guys, and of course, it's a very, as I say, very intimate. Mind you, our relationship is with our patients. They don't want to see us in full sort of gear. But
I think it's easier when it's a more controlled situation for us.
Yeah. It's hard.
What do you do? Have one makeup trailer per actor? You can't do that.
No, that's going to be really challenging.
I don't know how they'll do it.
No.
I think it's just going to take a little more time.
Yeah,
because you're talking 200 people. You're talking 200 people who've got to eat breakfast, work, have lunch, work, and then go home.
No, it's a whole different organisational thing, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
But well, you seem as if you're enjoying yourself. Where are you? You're
in Spain.
Yeah, you look like having a.
Shall I show you? Shall I show you my view?
It feel really. Oh, look at that.
Oh, sorry.
Oh. Let's have a look. Oh, beautiful. How lovely. Really.
I've had a really horrible lockdown.
Well, I don't feel very sorry for you. I think it looks lovely there. I just want to say thank you, Sarah. We're wrapping up now. Thank you so much. It's lovely.
It's a pleasure.
And thank you for giving me your time. It breaks up a day, doesn't it?
It does. Absolute pleasure.
Thank you. And when all this is overall,
I will be in touch whenever we're allowed to come home.
We'll get the magic. We'll get the magic back on you.
Thank you so much.
Lovely to speak to you. God bless. Take care.
Bye-bye. Bye.